They have honestly tried everything, from laser gyroscopes.
Is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift. We obviously were not willing to accept that, and so we started looking for ways.
We weren't willing to accept the truth, guys. We weren't willing to accept that the test that we decided to run proved we were wrong. Let's run another one. Let's run something else.
Ways to disprove that it was actually registering the motion of the Earth.
What's up, YouTube? Average Larry back again. Welcome back, man. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Real quick, y'all know we don't waste no time. We like to get right into the reactions, but I need to say today, thank you so much for getting your boy past 100 subscribers. My first 100 subscribers on this channel. Thank you so much. I know it seems small, but it's a step in the right direction, baby, and we're gonna keep this thing going. So anyway, this video is about the crazy experiments that people use to try to prove that the Earth is flat. Now, imagine you're an adult, fully functional brain. Maybe you're 25, maybe you're 45, but you're an adult in 2023 and you believe the Earth is flat. Imagine that, man. Let's get into it. Here we go.
What if I told you that the Earth was actually flat? Governments across the world have come together to deceive the public. The North Pole is here in the center of the Earth, with the continents spread out over this flat plain. And there's a 100-meter tall ice wall that surrounds our flat Earth. And if you even think about going there, armed guards will be there waiting to get rid of you. Over our heads right now is a massive dome, and the sun, moon, stars, and everything we see in space is no more than little lights in the sky. There are now millions of people around the world who genuinely do believe this. But we proved that the Earth was round over 2,000 years ago with nothing more than a hole in the ground. So I guess there's just one question. Are these people serious?
No curvature there to be found. How can it be a ball if nothing about it is round?
NASA's definitely in on it.
And we absolutely know for a fact, this ain't it.
Is it an image? Because images can be Photoshopped, right?
You're gonna notice some cartoon clouds here.
All right, so one of my main points of I don't know, I guess contention is, in order for this to be true, right? In order for the Earth to be flat, do you know how many people over the span of 600 years would have to be in on the lie? Like millions. And to what end? What benefit does the lie get the people that are telling the lie? What benefit do you get from lying about the Earth being round? I still don't understand that part.
Photoshop.
The strange part about this flat Earth belief is that it's relatively new. You see, the ancient Greeks had proved that the Earth was round in 500 BC, and how they did it is pretty crazy, but we'll get to that in a second. And yet, the flat earthers only really started emerging in the 1800s, and it all started with one main guy, Samuel Rowbotham. So, it's the 1830s in England, and science is taking off. There are discoveries popping up everywhere, and technology is advancing at a ridiculous rate. But our friend Sam, he's not a big fan of all of this, and he believes that the Earth is actually flat. So he sets out to conduct an experiment to prove it. So he heads down to Old Bedford River in Cambridgeshire, a 10-kilometre long, relatively straight stretch of water. He proposed that if the Earth was really a globe, we should be able to measure the curve along this stretch of river. It should curve away from the observer 8 inches after 1 mile, then 32 inches after 2 miles, and so on. So he jumps into the river with his little telescope.
But see, that would assume that the river is the same depth throughout, right? I don't know.
and watches as a boat with a flag standing 1 meter above the water rows away from him. He claimed that he could still see the boat even after the full 10 kilometers, and his calculations were correct. The boat should have been more than 3 meters below the horizon. He presumably exclaimed, "Eureka!" and then wrote a book with his findings called Earth is Not a Globe, under the pseudonym Parallax, which is honestly pretty damn cool. It wasn't until Alfred Russel Wallace, an English surveyor, repeated the experiment, avoiding the errors made by parallax, to prove that the Earth is
Avoiding the errors, right?
actually a globe. He accounted for atmospheric refraction. And so that's the end of this idea, right? No more flat Earth theories. It's so obvious that the Earth is a globe. But that's where you're wrong. And you know why? The internet.
I mean, I literally went and woke my wife up and told her that the Earth was flat.
That's why, because of my my multimedia background, I knew that all that stuff could be faked. You know, take it into Photoshop, take it into After Effects.
You know, just looking at that evidence, if they can lie about the moon landings, they can certainly lie about pictures and satellites.
And I can guarantee you that there is no curvature.
They. Who the fuck is they? Is they 1 million plus people over the last 600 years?
Yes.
As we've entered the age of social media, people are free to post about whatever they want. And as a result, the flat Earth theory has seen a huge increase in interest. From YouTube videos to viral tweets and even a Mr. Beast video. This idea has spread like wildfire, and I'll be honest, some of it's genuinely hilarious. And now with platforms like TikTok, where 15-second clips can be viewed by millions of people every single hour, this idea and ones like it.
Just look at this for a second. Look at this shit right here. Does this what the fuck? Oh my goodness. Now, you fucking flat earthers will say that gravitational pull doesn't exist. Right? I've heard this argument. I've heard lots of arguments, but how is this thing just floating? Can somebody explain this to me? Flat earthers, how is this just floating?
Are given more power than they've ever had. But hold on, surely they must have some proof that the Earth is flat, right? They must have done some experiments. Oh, they have, and let me just say, they are definitely something. In Netflix's documentary, Behind the Curve, a group of flat earthers performed an experiment that flat earthers have been using since 1836 in an attempt to prove that the Earth isn't a globe. They used 2 boards, both with a hole 5 meters above water level, a camera and a torch, and by lining up the torch with the holes, the light was able to go through both holes. And if the Earth was flat, no matter the distance between the boards, the light would come through the holes. And so they did it. They turned the light on, but no light seemed to appear on the camera. And I'll give you
Boom, you're fucking proven wrong. All of you guys are proven wrong.
one guess as to why. Because the Earth isn't flat.
Idiots.
My favorite part about all of this is that this very experiment was literally performed by our good friend Parallax.
Good.
Hi.
Thanks.
You need something?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that interruption, everybody. I'm back. As you can see, my son needed me for a moment, so let's get back into it.
This very experiment was literally performed by our good friend Parallax in that same gross English river. They have honestly tried everything, from laser gyroscopes.
Is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift. We obviously were not willing to accept that, and so we started looking for ways.
We weren't willing to accept the truth, guys. We weren't willing to accept that the test that we decided to run proved we were wrong. Let's run another one. Let's run something else.
Ways to disprove that it was actually registering the motion of the Earth.
Taking a spirit level on a plane, using telescopes and cameras at the beach, to even using weather balloons. And yet the results are always the same. They show that the Earth is a globe. Or
Hold on. Let's take a look at this weather balloon. Well, I mean, it's definitely rounded, right? I don't know if we can say that that's a globe because you can't see the whole thing, but definitely rounded.
the results are always the same. They show that the Earth is a globe, or there's an issue with their experiment that physics can explain. But wait, I keep saying that we have known for thousands of years that the Earth is a globe, but how is that really possible? I mean, we only started launching satellites like 60 years ago, and that's the beauty of it. It's not really that hard to tell that the Earth can't be flat.
Look how fucking crazy this looks, man. They legit think there's an ice wall.
There seems to be a bit of a common misconception that Christopher Columbus discovered the shape of the Earth, but in reality, we had known that the Earth was a sphere for centuries before he was around. The famous Greek philosopher Aristotle argued that the Earth must be a sphere based on his observations of the stars. He assumed that every star was the same distance from Earth, and they appear to be moving in a circular pattern around the planet. And then along came Eratosthenes of Cyrene. Awesome name.
No, not an awesome name. Them names is whack as hell. Eratosthenes.
I know. He was a geographer and a poet, and he set out to measure the circumference of the Earth, proving it was a globe. So he devised an experiment. He figured that if he could compare the position of the sun's rays in two locations, he would be able to calculate the spherical size of the Earth. He had heard a rumor that there's a well in the Egyptian city of Syene, and at midday on the summer solstice each year, the sun's rays shone down directly into the well, illuminating just the water at the bottom, not the walls of the well. And so when the summer solstice came around, Eratosthenes built a pole in Alexandria, and he observed that it cast a shadow, proving that the sun was not directly overhead, but was instead slightly south. Using the distance between the two cities, Eratosthenes was able to calculate, using trigonometry, the circumference of the Earth. He measured the angle of the sun's rays off the pole to be 7.2 degrees, and he knew that the circumference of the Earth could be represented by a circle, 360 degrees. So using a value of 5,000 stadia, which translates to about 800 kilometers for the distance between the two cities, he found the circumference of the Earth. 250,000 stadia, or about 40,000 kilometers. His calculations were less than 2% of the Earth's actual value that you can measure.
Damn. This motherfucker was way. This is before telescopes. This is before satellites, before NASA, before any of that bullshit that you flat earthers claim is a lie. This motherfucker figured it out using trigonometry, some sticks, the sun, and time.
Today. Pretty impressive given he really just used a stick. Other than this famous experiment and the stars, it's really not that hard to come to a conclusion that the Earth is a sphere. Our lunar eclipses look like this, but if the Earth was flat, they should look like this. Every other planet appears to be a sphere too, and we can see boats disappearing over the horizon. In fact, this was one of the key observations that caused Aristotle to suppose the Earth wasn't flat. Ultimately, I'm not really sure that this flat Earth belief is entirely genuine. I mean, it's clear that these people have a distrust in governments, the education system, and science as a whole. and maybe that's for good reason. But that's the beauty of science.
Maybe.
Science can help to remove personal bias and get to the truth using observations and experiments. But it's easy to take knowledge for granted. Fields of science and technology are so complex and extravagant.
Yo, what the fuck is that? What is that? I'm sorry. I know I'm not the smartest, sharpest knife in the drawer. We'll say that. What is that, man? I stopped using. Where did I stop at in high school? I stopped at like, I guess trigonometry. Is that trig? I don't know what the fuck that is, bruh. It's been a while since I've had to do anything like that, but that shit looks crazy.
Again, in 2023, that it's borderline impossible to understand for the everyday person. So maybe these people aren't stupid or misguided. Maybe there's something more that we could be doing to help them accept the truth. It is hard to say, but maybe next time you meet a flat earther, you can send them this video, and maybe, just maybe, they will see the light.
I doubt it. I doubt it, and I've tried to have conversations with these flat earthers quite a bit because it's an interesting conversation to hear their perspective and like why they don't believe what is obviously the truth. And I don't know, man. A lot of these people are like real seriously serious about it. They're not trying to take them being wrong for an answer. So, I mean, if you can't convince them, good luck. This has been another video. Appreciate you for sticking around. If you want to stick around even longer, go ahead and check out this video. It's guaranteed to pique your interest. And once again, thank you very much. One love.